Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Shobo. Today is Thursday, March 31st, 2022. We have reached the end of March. And I also didn't stream on Tuesday because I wasn't really feeling so great. I've got an Ollie next to me, but he's like facing away. He's facing away. If I put the other camera on, all we would see right now is his back. We wouldn't be able to see the face of the kitty. So he's just gonna be there. Maybe I'll have the camera on a little bit later. The other camera on a little bit later. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't feeling that great on Tuesday, so I chose not to stream. I'm not feeling that great today either, but we're gonna do stuff anyway. This morning I actually got up, I came down to the office, I sat in the chair, and then felt something coming down my lip. I put my finger up to it, and I pulled my finger away, and it's just all red. It's all red. I had a nosebleed. Fortunately, it didn't last a long time. I think it was just something dry air or whatever got cut me up in there somewhere. So yeah, that was what I woke up to. I'm also feeling tired and a little bit weak today for whatever reason. I haven't really been doing anything besides resting because I wasn't feeling too well on Tuesday. I've just been here. I've been playing both Elden Ring as well as Distant Worlds 2, which I did say that I wasn't going to play that as much, but while waiting for fixes to happen to that game. But there were fixes that came, and ideally, I was able to get it into a state where I could at least play and complete another playthrough of it. I beat the game again uh, twice more. I think I've beat it 3 times now. I've played the Bactarians, the humans, and the Boscarans, or whatever the heck they are actually named. The insects. The very, very warlike insects. I was actually quite surprised. I played it on the hive mind, and despite the penalty to technology rate, I ended up being technologically ahead very shortly into the game. So I think I'm going to have to up the difficulty a little bit because I'm finding that I'm just snowballing really hard, even on races that have severe penalties to technology rate. So it's like, okay, I might be a little too good at this for the normal difficulty. So we'll see. But later though, I don't think I want to start another playthrough of that until more updates come through. And the developers, apparently 2 developers for the entire game, uh, they're setting up a release schedule now for updates. They're going to be taking a little bit more time for each update. The updates will be a little bit more substantial as a result, and they'll be better tested as a result, because apparently they've had some issues with adding more bugs with updates, as sometimes does happen with games. So they're putting it out for testing for a little bit more time before releasing. That does unfortunately mean that they will be releasing updates once a week now, rather than every day or every other day as they had been previously. So it'll be like next week on Tuesday for the next update uh, to Distant Worlds 2. And I am very much waiting for some performance changes, updates, some improvements to the performance. I very much want performance increase. In particular, I want the research screen to actually have a frame rate. That would be great. The research screen having a frame rate would be nice. The other like late game stuff has actually been smoothed out quite a bit. In terms of just overall entities, like they have improved the late game performance. I really just want the research screen to be performant. That would be great. As for Elden Ring, I'm progressing. I am progressing. That's what I'll say on that one. I've done some power leveling, and there are parts of the game that are still really difficult despite power leveling because of just the build that I chose to go, which has been sword and board pretty much. It's actually it's actually like an arcane bleed build ish. I don't have a good bleed weapon yet. I just have a broadsword with a bleed on it from an Ashes of War to give bleed, which adds arcane scaling. My arcane is 45, which is one of the breakpoints for arcane. The thing has like over 90 bleed on it. It's really nice. I have a ton of strength, over 50 strength to go with it. But there are better weapons, special weapons, that I would like to have that unfortunately I can't get until much later into the game than I am now. Not really much later. There's like one area I have to go through before I can get to the area where I can get the good weapon. But I don't have patience for that. It's like yesterday I was doing the Ronnie quest line, and I actually got through the whole thing. I was like, ooh, it was an experience to do that yesterday. To go and go through all of those areas that are part of that quest line and fight the bosses that are part of that quest line. One boss in particular that my build was absolutely not geared towards was a little bit painful. I did beat it rather quickly. I am very strong. I have a lot of health because I did pump a ton of points into that stat. So yeah, I did end up beating a boss that dealt a lot of magic damage despite being a very physical build on that character. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get into the game, into Factorio, so that I can do what I wanted to do today. So hello, welcome everyone. As I mentioned, I'm not feeling quite 100% today, and I have no idea how long it's going to take to make diamonds, which is the goal for the day today. But what I'm going to say is that when I get diamonds, we will be ending the stream today because I am just not quite feeling all that great, and my mind is elsewhere at the moment. My mind is not 100% into this playthrough right now of Factorio. I've got other games on the mind. I've got the books I'm reading on my mind, or the book I'm reading on my mind. I have been continuing to read The Beginning After the End series. I am on book 8 now of that, which is the most recent release. And as far as I'm aware, there will eventually be a book 9. Seems like it's approaching what could be the end of the main story at some point in the nearer future. Feels like we're closer to the end than we were at the beginning, at the very least. But no idea what the plans are with that, how long the series is intended to go. Anyway, diamonds. So it's been a while since I've actually done kimberlite processing, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get diamonds through actual kimberlite processing. If I only wanted diamonds, I could just skip this and do particle acceleration for diamonds. I could just particle accelerate diamonds. And under normal circumstances, for most people, that's probably a decent option. Because if I wanted 3.5 diamonds, it would be a gigawatt of power and a bit of coke and a bit of boron, which is also getting particle accelerated, for me at least, because that I am particle accelerating to get absolutely 100%, and it's gonna cost a bunch of rayon and nichrome to do this way. But this is the quote-unquote easier option in terms of like number of steps to do the stuff, because chances are you've already been producing substrate somewhere by this point. You may not have if you had done the actual processing of boron by now. This might be the first time doing it. You're probably going to want to do it for something anyway. But at least I know that you've made all this other stuff that's used to make the crystallographic substrate by this point. And you're going to need boron as a required item regardless, no matter what, no matter how you're making it, you're going to need it anyway. So this is a valid option. We're not going to do that. We're going to do the actual processing chain. And as I said, I haven't done this in a while because I think the last time I did this, gosh, did I on Paidu Valley? Our previous playthrough? I don't think I really did. I don't remember doing so, is how I'll say that. I don't remember whether or not I did. Now, with kimberlite processing, there's also a few pathways that you can take with this. I think I've got it through the way that I want to do it that gives the most diamond output here, because there are things that you can do with certain byproducts in here. I think there's like a different pathway you can take with the rejects. Yeah, like you can do diamond rejects into processed rejects, and then the processed rejects will solid separate into a small amount of diamonds, chromite, sand, and limestone. This gives you fewer diamonds overall, but is a little bit simpler because it dodges another loop in this system. There are a lot of loops in this system. It actually starts with one. It immediately starts with one. So you have your kimberlite rocks that you are crushing into crushed kimberlite. You then screen the crushed kimberlite into kimberlite grade 2 and kimberlite rejects, which get crushed into additional crushed kimberlite. So there's a loop there. Right, first thing. Am I creating diamonds out of water? No. I am mining kimberlite. If you want to make diamonds out of water, you have to get coke out of water. That's the best way that's how I'll put it. But even then, it'll use a little bit of crystallographic substrate, which, you know, other ore types are involved there. So good luck getting the diamonds out of water. That's one of those few ingredients that you don't get an alternative to for obtaining. That is kimberlite rock. Where's that plan again? Where is that plan again? I never remember. There it is. I don't like this icon that it's using. It's hard for me to associate this icon with diamonds. Anyway, so from there, the grade 2 kimberlite will get washed into pure kimberlite 2 as well as a grade 3. And then the pure will become additional grade 3 from secondary crushing. All of that grade 3 gets processed in a mixer into a pulp. The pulp gets panned into a concentrate, a tailings, and residues. The residues become rejects, which we'll get to eventually. What uses the rejects? Ah, yes, the rejects process into additional grade 2, pure grade 2. So, this stuff down here gets processed, or this stuff makes rejects, a lot of rejects, that then loop back into grade 2. So there's another big loop here. Yeah, there are loops within loops in this system. Feedback within feedback. And as you can see in here, the actual amount of pure grade 2 that you get from the kimberlite rock is a small fraction of the total pure grade 2 that you get in the system, because most of it is rejects / secondary products that are getting reprocessed through these loops. You get most of your pure grade 2 from the loops, because magically your grade 2 kimberlite becomes from 7.7 to 9.2 after all is said and done in here. Let's see. So the tailings become rejects and concentrate. All of the concentrate becomes water concentrate. The water concentrate gets separated out into a grade 1, 2, and 3 water, which goes through grease tables. You have to add grease and 3 different fluid types for each of these to get a whole bunch of crude diamonds. Those get washed into washed diamonds and then classified into diamonds in the end. And yeah, the logistics of this is insane. Is absolutely insane. So one thing I will say is that I already have the diamonds being mined. I already have kimberlite over here. I have mined a significant amount of ore. I am in no way, shape, or form worried about my supply of ore for my diamonds. That much is reasonable. Also, there was an update to the game that said that it was improving the performance of the game when zoomed out by like 10 to 15%. I disagree that it did that. I disagree that it has improved the performance of the game when zoomed out on the map. Whatever the intention was, didn't actually happen. Not to my knowledge, anyway. In my experience. We'll do this down here, I guess. This is going to need a few inputs. Just a few inputs. 9. Oh boy. We'll do this here. Oh boy. Coffee. The last of my coffee. I've been drinking 2 cups of coffee lately as well, just because I've been waking up feeling exhausted. And finding it a little bit difficult to concentrate. Alright. Now, I have all of this stuff already. I don't need to worry about making anything Build. Build! Build! And I'm going to have to deal with extra stuff here. Yeah, I'm going to unfortunately need to also bring in some solid fuel to get rid of that sand. Nice mug. Yeah, it's my J. It's my J cup. I would like to use the other one, but it's a little big. My other mug, I think, is actually sitting in the closet. I have to pull that out and wash it at some point. I've got my big Darth Vader helmet mug, and it's really big. It holds a lot of fluid in it, but I don't want the temptation to fill the mug with coffee, because I know that if I start using it again, I'm just going to end up drinking a lot more coffee. Because previously I was drinking a full 12-cup pot of coffee every day, which filled the mug 2.5 times. It's a really big mug. That 12-cup pot is, I think it's 50 ounces or 60 ounces or something like that. Yeah, 60 ounces per pot. Because, for whatever reason, coffee pot companies, manufacturers, define a cup of coffee as 5 ounces. When an actual cup, as a unit of measure, is 8 ounces. So it's like, okay, why are you allowed to redefine a unit of measurement? Like, isn't the point of units of measurement that they're standardized? Honestly, it should be illegal to redefine a unit of measurement. Like, come on. But either way, after quitting coffee for several months to reset my system, I'm now just adding a second one of these, which is a much smaller cup. What do I think the new DLC for Factorio is going to include? Based off of what I've read about the content, it almost sounds like they're going to add some stuff that may be similar to what we do in Pyanodon's mods. I have a sneaking suspicion that there are going to be features in this DLC that exist as mods currently, as some of the overhaul mods. That is what my thoughts are right now. I don't know about new features, but it seems like they're going to do something involving the alien life in a bit more detail. Right, and I also have to make some of this too. But yeah, that's just the impression that I get based off of the stuff that they've said about the new expansion. Is that I get the impression that it's going to be almost like an incorporation of mods that exist. Right, you need the solid input as well. Whoops, power. Power the everything. As for side things, I have to make local. Think that's it. Yeah, that should be it. Alright, now the actual chain. Now the actual chain. So, starts with crushing. Now each of these has, yeah, pretty significant throughput. So, you know, what I just did is actually not what I'm going to do. We are using loaders. Right. This is a little bit more than just a mirror. Okay, I need to also separate the stone on this one. To the right, put in a washer to kill that stone. And there we go. Ta-da! Okay, that will give me the crushed kimberlite. The crushed kimberlite processes here. 6.2 of it, or no, it processes in these. A lot of it. Right. Input priority the other side. Screen 1, 2, 3, 4. One more tile away. Loaders. Alright, there's that. Same thing, except this time with gravel to demolish you. There, I guess. Change that recipe to the gravel one. One of these gets a lot. That's a lot. That's enough and enough, right? Yep. Oh no, this one doesn't do the gravel. Excuse me. This one does the rejects. And these rejects go into this guy. Gravel. Loop 1. Ahem. The first of a few. Now this is outputting the grade 2 kimberlite. The grade 2 kimberlite, which, yeah, is going to be 7.7. That's all I need to worry about on this side of things. So no other input byproduct stuff comes in on this part going forward. So this step here will be pretty much the last piece of this section with these 4. I can use inserters on this. What about for the outputs? Do I want to use inserters on the outputs on this? Probably not. Inputs are fine. Outputs are much, much higher throughput. Alright, give me water. And give me tailings dump. Oh boy. So 3 solid outputs from here. I need to filter out the sand immediately. And this will be removed from the face of existence. That will be enough. Right there, that'll be enough to get rid of all the sand. It's like 1 more than I need of these burners. Something like that. Just the way that I have this designed. Alright, from there, we have Kimberlite grade 3 as well as grade 2. So the next piece of the puzzle is the grade 2. Pure grade 2, excuse me. Now this does need an extra, not output, input priority from the right, and I'm gonna lane balance, because now we're on this step here that's 7 of these crushers. Oh, and this is also outputting gravel. Really? Really? Alright. Good to know. Aw, you don't quite reach. Grab that. Okay. From here. Phew. That gives a whole bunch of grade 3 and gravel. Throw that up. Now this has grade 3 in it as well. So all that should be grade 3. Everything that's left anyway should be grade 3. Now where does the rest of the grade, the pure 2, come from? It comes from the reject stuff all the way up here. Yeah, the diamond rejects go back to pure, as well as even more gravel. Wow, that's a lot of gravel that gets output here. I'm going to need another building, another washer to wash that gravel down to saline. Because this just added 3.1. The most I can do in one of these buildings is 10 without speed modules. Yeah, 10 per building. And that's actually more than 10. Alright, I think that the residue processing can come back into this one and be fine, because we're not at 5. We're at like 3.5-ish, because we have 0.4 from this and 3.1 from this. So we're at 3.5. Plus 5 is fine to go into here, but we will need another one for this other 6. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. Where are the kitties? Well, alright, let's do turn on the thing. Where's that? Where's the switch? On. On. Remove the lens cap. There's a kitty. There's a kitty. Right there. There's a pretty boy. Yeah, I need to probably do that. There we go. There's the Ollie. He's been here the whole time. He just only recently showed his face. So there's the pretty Ollie. Yeah, there's the Ollie. Yeah, it's a pretty boy. That's the pretty boy. He's a big boy too. Ollie is big. He's massive. Oh yeah, he's a 12-pound kitty, at least. He's got some heft. He's very muscular though, as well. And his tail is a freaking whip. His tail is a whip. And he strikes hard when he shakes his tail. If he's excited in his hunting mode, he'll be flicking real hard. And if it bangs into something, it bangs into things. It's like I can tell sometimes he's at the window looking outside, looking out whatever's going on outside, and he'll be flicking his tail, and I hear it like slam the window multiple times. It's like, okay, kitty. Okay, kitty. So he's got a whip for a tail. Yeah, his tail is a whip. He uses it like that. His sister is the complete opposite. Dolly is the complete opposite. She's much more gentle. She is way more gentle. Alright, we're on this mixer step now. She's a long hair, and she is... Excuse me, I didn't bring mixers with me. Oops. Whoopsies. I thought I had everything. Apparently I missed mixers. Oh well. I foresee having to restock on stuff regardless. Oh, I don't actually need that much stuff here. Input throughput is pretty high, actually, per building. But doesn't exceed a lane. So these ultra-fast belts have up to 45 items per second per lane, which is phenomenal. Absolutely glorious amounts of stuff that I can do here. I should, this does not output anything, right? So I just grab the whole thing. And power it. I could cheat, though. Yeah, let's, oh, this is dumb, but we're doing it anyway. So now my robots will place these mixers for me. Come, my minions, do the thing. What do you mean missing material for construction? Oh, right, because we need to actually connect to the whole grid. There we go. That should solve it. Alert. Alert. I know I have mixers. There you go. Now you've updated. It's like, I know I have mixers. I know that with absolute 100% certainty. All right. Now we get into some of the larger individual steps. That's one of my issues that I have with the Kimberlite processing chain, is that there are some processes that, or some steps in here that require significantly more buildings than other steps. This step is one of them that processes this pulp, as is this other step. Like the centrifuge steps, centrifugal pan steps are the two that I think could do with a little bit of trimming, but all four of these really could do with some trimming. But actually, the bigger problem that I have had historically with this setup has been the throughput of the intermediate products, although it was adjusted a bit, I'm pretty sure. The very first time I ever did this chain, Pyandon was watching. I made a lot of comments about, the throughput of, like, I think it was the residues in particular, was just through the roof, massive amounts of stuff. It's like, why are the intermediates in this such high throughput with such low output? It's like, oh, okay. And I think it got adjusted. Could be wrong though about that. So I'm going to cut this in half and have 2 here. Well, ain't that just lovely? There are, oof. Okay. Like, there's no solids output from this. Yes, there are. There's no solids involved here. Yes, there are. Oh, yes, there are. Ta-da. How I did the fiberboard setup with the pulp mills with the 3 fluid outputs. That was a long time ago. That's the first fiberboard recipe. The one that outputs the tall oil, the liquors, and all that. I don't have that anymore, I'm pretty sure, in my base. So it's hard to show that right now. But I did have it at one point in this series. Just would have to go back. There's a better recipe that does not have those outputs that you get later. So I'm doing that. Where am I doing that? Fiberboard. I'm doing that over here, and this is a steam input only for the fluid. It is a much better recipe because it doesn't have any of those outputs on it, and I don't have a pulp mill around to illustrate. But the pipe things, I mean, some of it you can just direct attach the voiding. I think all 3 of the byproducts of that first fiberboard recipe are all stuff that needs to be thrown into a sinkhole, or can be thrown into a sinkhole. Yeah, so you're looking at this one, the organic solvent, tall oil, black liquor. So it's got, here, I will, grab this. So there's a thing that's like here, there's one here, and there's one like on the other side, I think. So it's not that difficult to do a setup that looks like this on those outputs or something similar to this. And then have your dumping after the array similar to that. You'd have to sneak in your various inputs and outputs and all of that, but it should look similar to this. Is it worth, since you just got rubber 2 crafting with organic solvents, to use the byproduct for the rubber? It's only trace amounts of stuff on the output for that recipe, so I don't use any of those products usually. If you want to set up a setup that makes use of byproducts, then go ahead. I don't rely on I don't want to rely on byproducts for any process. I very purposefully build the way that I do, and void always. I'll always be voiding for me byproducts. I never want to be in a situation where I need byproducts to move to maintain throughput of something. Because that is a recipe for disaster. It means that I won't know what my actual production is. And I can't have that. No, I want to know what my actual production is. And it's much more difficult to calculate what your production rates are. Your quote-unquote theoretical max production rates are when everything is running at 100%. When you're using byproducts, it just makes it more complicated than I want it to be. So if I need organic solvent, I'm going to make organic solvent. It's as simple as that. I'm going to make the organic solvent. Yes, I will make it separate and provide it separate. Alright, now we are screening these residues. Yes, you hug yourself, huh? You hug yourself. Get those cute little paws. But now now no one can see your pretty face, huh? Because your paw's in the way. Your paw is in the way, kitty. All right. 1, 2. Yeah, it's just gonna be that tall, I guess. So we're dealing with okay throughput for the inserters here. And I haven't been doing very much of the power, have I? Oh no, I've been doing the power the whole time. Okay. So let's get that going. I'll need extra poles. Whoops. Okay. You output rejects and the gravel. To the right. Yeah, the thing about the black liquor, though, is that recipe is the only recipe that will ever give you black liquor. Maybe that will change with the next version of Pyandons mods, but for the next like alternative energy release. But for right now, that recipe is the only one that gives black liquor. It gives a tiny, tiny trace amount of it, and you're not going to do that recipe forever. Like you're only going to do that recipe in the early game. So I really don't know why the black liquor like even exists. Like why it has a thing that you can do with it when it's only output through this one recipe in very small amounts, and you don't do that recipe later on. It's like, okay. It just seems superfluous. Okay, now let's do that. Input right. Lane balance, because sure, why not? This is the rejects. Alright, and the residues need the same treatment. Because the actual final step is going to give me some more residues as well to loop even more residues for even more rejects. Oh boy, yeah, this is a thing. So the individual throughput is actually pretty high here. I'm going to move this over a tile. And use loaders, of course, on the input, but not the output. We don't need it on the output on here. And as I mentioned before, this will output more gravel than what the washer over there can handle, so we're going to need to add another washer. And I'm going to raise this up a couple tiles just so that I can be like, oh hey, yeah, gravel. Your output to the right. Loading in there. That goes up. And over. Ah, that's not the spot. No, it goes all the way. All of the way back. Oh boy. Not the greatest spot. All the way back here. Way back here. Yeah, that's where it goes. This is pure kimberlite. Grade 2. You know, the bulk of it actually coming from this. Oh boy. Yep, that's a thing. Ta-da. Power. Loops within loops. We have loops within loops here. Alright, next is this 14 doohickeys. The doest of doohickeys. Try to get the alignment right as well. Oh, how funny. Yes, let's delete the local access to kimberlite so that we can process kimberlite being brought in by trains. Such a wonderful idea. Now you are also outputting, so this ends up looking exactly like this, except it adds an additional pair at the bottom. So we're dealing with 7 here. On each side. Ta-da. Don't touch the buildings. There we go. Oh, I forgot. I need a Megadar. Megadar! Go, go, go! Be mega for me. I need to see everything. Thank you for showing me everything in here. And for expanding this. Sort of need the expansion. I didn't mention the things that I did do off screen now, did I? Hey. Tail? Tail is in the way. I didn't mention things that I did off screen. I have made Dingrits. And I am in the process of getting Scrondrix. So, Dingrit, actual Dingrit, they are here. They are wonderful, glorious, beautiful Dingrits. They are backing up. Huh? Why are you backing up? That shouldn't be. Did I overbuild? Quite possibly, yes. I may have overbuilt slightly on those Dingrits. It should be making 5 Dingrits per second and providing them onto the train network as Dingrits. I don't think I added the thingy for it though, did I? I did, okay. So those are ready. I've done this the usual way. At this point, I put in a request for steel to make sure that I have enough of the barrels, controls, barrel production, make sure I have enough without going overboard. The actual Dingrit recipe that I'm using here uses water, bedding, and basic food. Dingrits are one of the creatures that do not increase the number of pups with better recipes outside of the flat increase that you get by adding pheromones. So I have built this with the intent of adding pheromones and sticking with this recipe because the only things that change are the speed. Only the speed changes. Yeah, only the speed changes with the better recipes as we go along. For Dingrits and several of the other creatures. And I don't care as much about the speed because that gets offset by using better buildings and better modules eventually, if I choose to upgrade the modules. If I even need more Dingrits. Because there's that too. I may just not need more Dingrits either. So that takes care of Dingrit spikes that will be involved in the production of the other stuff. Biobatteries, Kaido-san, whatever I think it actually needs those things for. I think it was for the Kaido-san. So the other thing is the Scrondrix, because I need the pineal glands as well. And I am working on making them here. I left a gap in case I want to add more to the build. Logistically, it's done. I need to bring in the stuff for it, though. It's just, I need the input ingredients. The actual factory logistics are done. Scrondrix don't have a food. There is no Scrondrix food. Weirdly. Yes, those are paws. Those are all paws. You can just sort of see the face there. Yeah, and the whiskers. So, Scrondrix are also not like Dingrits because their pup/cub recipes do increase the output number of cups and pubs with increasing complexity of recipes. So I'm doing the most complex recipe that I can. That's the not pheromone recipe. And then when I upgrade to pheromones, I will have to add an additional thing for the pheromones. And I think that's what this is here as well, is to add pheromones. This thing needs 5 belts of inputs. It needs 5 belts of inputs with a different item on each lane. It's a little bit crazy. It is just a little bit crazy with the Scrondrix to make these actual dinosaurs, actual parasaur dinosaurs. But apparently they eat meat, so there's that. I'm actually going to be slaughtering stuff to make the meat. This will go up a bit more. Anyway, continuing. Continuing along. Let's get all this placed. And you can see this is the tallest, quote-unquote, part of the build. It'll look a little bit like a triangle in the end after the remaining steps are in place. A little bit. We get a bit of flatness from these 3 grease steps here. Now this is going to input soda ash. Soda ash? Yeah. As well as the diamond tailings from back here. So that's this one. So voila, there's the diamond tailings taken care of. Next is the concentrate, which is the primary output of this. I also need to dump these tailings. So all the way out here, we have you. Ah, I'm stuck. These will go this way. Let's get the power hooked up. There you go. You're all powered. Jigs! Jiggy jigs. Let's get these going. Excuse me? Oh, it only stacks to 5. I didn't notice that I needed 6. I didn't comprehend that it only stacked at 6. I thought it was 10. Because, you know, most things stack to 10. Most buildings stack to 10, but for whatever reason, apparently, jigs and centrifugal pans only stack to 5. Don't know why, but they only stack to 5, which is quite frustrating, to say the least. It is in fact frustrating. Here, let's try to get that camera raised up a little bit. Oh, that's a better view of that pretty little face. As he immediately squirms. Yes, big stretch. Big stretch of those paws. Big stretch. Big stretch. Yes, big stretch. Yeah. You're moving that tail. That flick, that little flick means annoyance. Whenever you have a cat that starts to flick the tail like that, that's a sign of stop. Stop what you're doing. Right, kitty? Yes, I know. The tail flicking can be excitement or annoyance. And it can be difficult for some people to tell the difference between when it is excitement and when it is annoyance. Okay, so this is going to process all of this stuff into the water concentrate. I think that's all I have to worry about here. Yeah. Then we get to fluid separate. Oh, joy. Oh, bliss. At least we're not dealing with solids. Doink. Da, da, da. Ah, so many pipes. Aw, really? You? There. Why? Because one power pole will be all that is required. One line, and it powers these as well. Okay, now what? You there. Just connect the pipes and we're good. Yes, the niobium pipes look great. That they do. It is slightly unfortunate that the multi-purpose pipes look the way that they do, as bad as they do. Just a bit unfortunate that. Okay, these are all going to be outputting solids. Ta-da. You flip there. Not flip, rotate. Tar comes in separate from way back here. It's like, oh yeah, here's the tar input from way back at the beginning of the build. So Pyandon is remaking, / has already remade the pipe to ground for the multipurpose pipes. He actually posted a picture of what they look like now on my Discord. It looks better than before. Looks better than just a simple box. And it should be a lot easier to discern the piped grounds from the intersections. Frankly, the intersections should get a similar treatment, but because the boxes are, well, boxes and a little bit ugly, but it's good to have, at the very least, the piped grounds getting an overhaul. Honestly, the multi-purpose pipes were done, I think, on a whim, and very quickly, very quickly, and it has shown. Because they suddenly appeared like shortly, either right before the official release of Alien Life or shortly after. They just were added in as an extra thing for Alien Life. Such a shame. I don't want to do that. Anyway. 1, a 2. Donk. I mean, it works, right? What works, works. If it works, it works. That's all that matters. All that matters is that it works. Okay. 1. 2. 3. Alright. That should be the jigs done. You can see we've already got our, like, triangle shape on this. Next up, we've got 3 washers. Taking in the combined output here. Oh yeah, the game updated, so I had to re-enable all my Simic things again. Here, kitty, just for a moment. I had to re-enable all the Simic recipes again because, you know, every time the game updates, they will be locked again. They will be disabled. Ooh, that's a bit of throughput, but I think I'm fine. We'll see. I'm not exactly certain. We have 6 as the stack size per stack inserter swing, so I'm pretty sure you can handle 5.71 per second. Pretty sure they can handle that. Now you output just the washed diamonds, and then the washed diamonds will, in fact, have 1 classifier in the end. Just 1. Processing diamonds and residues. Where is Dolly? I don't know. Somewhere. Likely also sleeping. She doesn't always sleep behind my head. She has several locations she likes to sleep. And it's Dolly with an EY. Okay, all the way back here. Yes, that's the residues. You. You go there. I can do this split a little further up. Whoops. And that is the factory done. Now the hard part. If you thought that was the hard part, oh boy, if you've not been here. I mean, yes, it's the hard part in terms of, building the factory itself is a mission. The bigger part of the mission, though, is the more quote-unquote tedious part of it, which is actually taking things from the train station and putting them where they need to go in the factory. The rest of it is logistics. So we'll show everything here again because I need to be able to keep track of it. I will minimize it though for now. And the way that I tend to do things is go from the side closest to the main rails and work my way back, just, from the beginning, quote unquote, to the end. But we need to actually build the station as well. And we have 10. We have 10 total things that we need, of which there are 3 solids. One of which is not shown here because it is the solid fuel used for voiding. Now, for order of operations, we're starting with lime. Or actually, no. What am I thinking? We are ending with lime. Middle one, I think, is the kimberlite. Kimberlite is next, right? Yeah, kimberlite. Kimberlite's next. And then the coke. And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fluids. Just a few fluids. Yeah, I thought as much, that I absolutely did not have enough tanks for this. Not enough tanks. Oh, and rail. So I'm going to, again, cheat. And make my Constructobots do it. I'm going to put in all of the ghosts. That'll do. And then bring on a roboport there. And then my robots will build for me the rest of this. Yeah, such a pretty boy, huh? Such a cute Ollie. Such a cute Ollie. Okay. Now that that has been placed, the top one is bitumen. And that is our first input. And it's going this way. Ta-da. Okay, bitumen. Once I've finished placing these pipes, that'll be good to go. There we go. So that is the bitumen in. Next is the lime, although the lime does split in two directions here. Even though it is the first solid in use, it goes places. Oh right, and I didn't run the slaked lime either. So, slaked lime, let's go. You go down here. You're one of the grease tables uses you, I'm pretty sure. All the way down this way. Yep, it's the first one. So that's using the slaked lime. And then who used the lime as lime? It was one of these, like the mixer step, I think, used the lime. Yeah, mixer uses lime. There we go. Lime. There we go. Lime at diamonds. Not gonna request it yet. Not gonna request it yet. But that is the lime. And then it is the diamonds. Ah, why you need to be there. Or the kimberlite, excuse me, for the diamonds. Go, kimberlite. Be that way. Alright. Next, may as well do that final solid ingredient, which is the coke. That'll actually be the last of the belt I need. All the rest is pipes, and I'm almost out of pipes. Am I carrying around pipes by any chance? Probably not. No. Of course not. Of course not. Alright. Well. let's see. Aromatics and industrial solvent. Oh boy. Those are the first things here. Alright, you are the industrial solvent. And thus you are the aromatics. Oh, my alarm! We are halfway. Sneeze is coming. I think I feel it. Our aromatics at diamonds. Alright, so now it's the other way, I think. Okay, we have those. Next is the soda ash. Okay, soda ash. There's that. And then what do we got after soda ash? Hope I'm not missing anything. We need grease. Yep, grease and organic solvent and sulfuric acid. There's 3 left, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. There's these 3, and I have now accounted for them. I don't need that or that. $21 pipe to grounds is not going to be enough. I'm fairly certain. Alright, sulfuric acid. Organic solvent. Grease. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to restock. Get rid of all the building requests, though. I don't need any more buildings. I'll do the restock now. While it's on my mind. Get over there. Yeah. Triangular. Imagine if I had built these straight down. These 2 steps here. If I had just done 12 and 14. How much it would look like having this double spike on here. Just all the space that gets used. Like, if I want to scale this and build more capacity to this, I can go straight down and have like 4 of them in here, right? I can do like 4 in this space. If I had not done this way, I could fit like 2 and have a bunch of empty space. All right, bring me stuff. That would be great. So we're almost done with the diamonds here. Once I get all the requests in, we're going to go and we're going to look at watch it, make sure I haven't messed up anything on this process. Chances are I absolutely have somewhere made some sort of a mistake. So we'll see. We'll watch it and get the diamonds made. We'll get them onto a train. We'll set up the train, and then we'll end for the day. Because as I said, not feeling particularly wonderful today. So we're gonna do this one main project and then end it. And as for Tuesday's stream, I'm uncertain because there's not a lot of simple projects left. He as he calls diamonds simple projects. Yeah, I say that because the bio batteries, yes, are a major project. There are several major projects left, and I've mentioned this before. As we are working towards getting into circuit 3s, there are a few pretty major projects. And it's just deciding what we're gonna do. I will have the pineal glands and the dingret spikes by then, so I'm thinking the plan will be getting into Kaito-san next time. Yeah, I think the Kaito-san will be the plan next time. That is the next major thing. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that's a huge endeavor? Not for circuit 3s. I mean, yeah, I need to make Aurum, but I don't need much of that. Yeah, honestly, the sulfuric is like just the vanilla recipe is too good compared to everything else. I think the other stuff should have its output increased. Cough, cough. Anyway, I should have all my stuff now. And like in terms of getting into circuit 3s, there's not much more besides the Kaito-san as like a major build. It's really getting all of the pieces put together to make the circuit 3s. The next major projects are as we're working towards circuit 4s, and the stuff I need for more infrastructure, better infrastructure, like we still have the 70% uranium powder to make. Like there's still the uranium processing to 70%. There's still at least, and I do need to go to Yellow Cake at some point as well. But like in terms of getting into like even the actual utility science recipe, because right now I'm doing Vat Brain utility science. It's what we did last time. We set up the Vat Brain utility science. The actual utility science recipe that I'm going to do, if I can find it, is this one. It needs circuit 4s, intelligent units. That is the only real thing that's left for this. He says, despite the fact that I will need to launch satellites to also do this. This destabilized Toxorus. This is what you get when you launch satellites now. Vanilla satellites. This is what you get, this product, and it's used here on this recipe. Now, the ingredients to launch the rockets, antimatter's part of that. Antimatter is part of that. So we'll need to make these things. We'll need these things, you know? Just these. So that's going to be a little bit of a mission as well. Now, these things we need to make anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it's just, more stuff and things. More stuffs and things that we need to do. Oddly, I'm not seeing any of the heavy fermium material here. Oh yeah, and we need Schrodinger antelopes, which needs tritium to make the first antelopes. So we also need tritium. So there's plenty left to do. It's just the circuit 3s are closer now than they've ever been. They're pretty close. All right, so this station will be Greece. Well, this phase of the game is the reason why I built at such scale to begin with. Like this phase of the game, which I knew was coming, is the reason I built at the scale that I built for a lot of the things that I've done. Why I took the time to build at such high scale is because, yeah, I knew that I would need to build at this scale. Let's see, so that's our Grease at diamonds. This one's what again? What was after Grease? Between Grease and the sulfuric acid was organic solvent. Okay, that'll be that. Just get these last pipes in, and then we can go and request all of the things. Autosave. Okay. Pretty sure that's that. 4 diamonds. Now to put the actual requests down. You there. Bitumen. That is not bitumen. That is bitumen. Apparently I need more bitumen. Industrial solvent. Now where does that live? Which tab does the industrial solvent live? That's the tab. I'm surprised I don't have any immediately available. Aromatics I should have immediately available. Excuse me. Push the C. Sulfuric acid. Organic solvent. Grease. Where does grease live? Is it in petroleum handling? Is it in... it is fusion, alright. Excuse me? That's not our Zogna, that is our soda ash at diamonds. Soda. Soda, soda. You are the lime. You are kimberlite. Rocks. Where are the rocks? There you are. Excuse me. Oh, I didn't define the kimberlite. Rocks. Great job. Rocks. Okay, bring me those rocks. Coke. And a train. Supply. Depot. Full cargo. Circuit ignition. I don't remember off the top of my head what the stack size on diamonds are. I'm going to put 2 stacks. For that, set you to auto magic. Bitumen has arrived. Everything else is on its way. One slight problem I need to fix is that I need more than 30 lime. So I will need to do that. I don't really need to do the same on any of the others, but I will do it anyway. Okay, we're screening, we're crushing, we're washing, we're voiding, we are processing that, we are mixing, we are centrifugal panning, slowly but surely. Slowly but absolutely surely, the panners are panning. Okay, we are processing some of those residues. Over here, we're getting even more of these rejects. Down here, we're starting to get some concentrate. First cycles on the concentrate. That is slowly going to fill up the fluid separator. You need 300 per cycle. Great. Don't you just love it when it's at 99? Because of the remaining stuff in the pipes. There's your first cycle, making the 1, 2, and 3. These need 50 per cycle, so we should start to see all 3 of these move. There we go. All 3 of them have moved. And we have made crude diamonds. The crudest of crude. Oh, and you need 20 per cycle on these crude diamonds. So, shortly, eminently, we'll get a cycle of that, and then this needs 40 washed diamonds, which is 80 crude diamonds. Alright, so there's one cycle. We need another cycle. Another 2 more cycles, actually, at this point. And there we go. There's the first cycle. Giving me industrial diamonds. The diamonds are here. They have arrived. Hallelujah, chorus, and all of that good stuffs. All of that good stuffs. And the cycles are cycling down here. Getting more and more and more of these intermediates. that will eventually lead to significantly more diamonds. Okay, what is your stack size again? 50. That's what I thought. That's what I was afraid of, actually. So 3.5 times 50 divided by 20. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at 2 stacks. Nah. I'll make it 4. Yeah, 4 each. So 8 times 50 divided by 3.5 is 114 seconds of production once everything is cycled properly. And everything looks like it is cycling. Moving, at least. I'm not seeing... Ah! I have found an error. Always at least one error. I have not voided the tailings on this second to last step. Right there. I did not void these tailings, and that is important. Very important. Now we're cooking. Process all of these diamonds. Glorious. Now, I believe that that is pretty much that. So I have the diamonds now. Diamonds, which means that I could do the vanilla, the standard purple science recipe at this point. I could go and do this now. I'm trying to think, is there anything that I'm missing from here? I'm pretty sure it's like just alien enzymes. Yeah, so I don't have Vonix yet to do the venom glands on here, or the fat eye. I don't have the fat eye yet to do this, which is, you know, why I didn't want to do this recipe, because we would still be chemical science, or still doing vat brain biocomputing for production science, had I not chosen to do the thing that I did, which was do cotton gut based science for purple science production, and then vat brain utility science. Still waiting on this first utility science tech, by the way. Like I haven't sat here for a while. I haven't let the game run particularly long. I need to get this tech in order to do the cotton gut recipe for utility science, which is what I want to do to get my utility science. But even that, as I've shown, will require some of the stuff that I need for the regular utility science recipe anyway. Yeah. NEMs are part of the vanilla utility science process, or the quote-unquote standard utility science process. They're there, along with the superconductor servo mechanisms. Yes, superconductor servo mechanisms, those things, and the hyperelastic material, all of this stuff. All of these three are used to do the standard recipe of utility science. I said when I said that I was going to do with this recipe, that the only thing that I am dodging. The only thing that I am dodging from the regular recipe for utility science is the perfect samples. That's it. That's the only thing that I get to dodge by doing the cotton gut recipe for utility science. Everything else I need either directly for this science in this manner, in this method, or for the infrastructure at Mark III or Mark IV and Mark IV. Like I have to do, like I already have the Kevlar, but I need to do those volumetric energy capacitors. I need to do the hyperelastic materials. I need to do intelligent units. I need to do nanowires. I need to do the NEMs, the optical parametric oscillators, the superconductor servo mechanisms, and I already have super steel. All that's required, except for the perfect samples. This is the only use of the perfect samples in the entire game is this one recipe. And I'm not going to go through the effort of making perfect samples when I have an alternative to making utility science. That required vat-brain biocomputing of utility science, or that requires the vat-brain biocomputing of utility science to unlock that recipe. This technology is a utility science recipe that unlocks the utility science recipe from Cotton Gut Science. So there's that. And yeah, I'm gonna need to do all of that too. All that stuff. Yeah, yellow cake, Varphy-Josephson junctions, quantum vortex storage systems, quantum dots, Pi-Josephson junctions, all that stuff for space science in the end. Still need to do all that. We'll have like 2 of these things practically all said and done. 3 with vacuum. 4 with the liquid helium, actually, because I have helium too. Those contained strangelets will have done. We will have set up Schrodinger's antelope to do this utility science recipe. So contained strangelets is just slaughtering Schrodinger antelopes to get the strangelets out. Processing the antelope that we will already have at that point. Destabilized Toxtrus we are already going to be doing for the other science recipe. Liquid helium is helium, so that's fine, and vacuum is just vacuum. Yellow cake is effort. All those other things are a little bit of effort, little bit more effort, but ultimately using a lot of stuff that we're already making, so it's not that big of a leap of inputs on here. So the bulk of our remaining complexity is actually this utility science recipe. The bulk of it is that remaining recipe for utility. So yeah, we're going to be continuing on next time, working towards circuit 3s by getting into Kaito-san. I'm trying to remember if I have anywhere just a plan for Kaito-san, or if I have to like add up my Kaito-san, or if I put on my document, my plan document, Kaito-san. I did, and apparently my plan is for 30. Okay. Sure. Kaito-san. How much stuff am I going to need for you? How much pain am I in? Well, 10 empty petri dishes is a bit much for one. Not too worried about the beads. Don't need to worry about the pineal glands or the spikes. Because I'm like making 5 of each of these, / will shortly be making 5 of each of those. The bone meal, I've got the Ulrichs for you. I've got plenty of the Ulrichs for you. Got plenty of Augs for the meat. They give 14 units per AUG. Sea sponges I will need to scale at some point if I want to get 30, but I'm pretty sure I don't like need exactly 30 for anything. This is got a lot of padding on it. What's using Kaido-san is this cooling system, this advanced coating. Did I break down Kaido-san? I did. It's apparently 1.4 total for the one circuit. And then in here for the bio batteries, for the nanofibrils, of which I only need 2.8, but if I want 10 nanofibrils, that'll be 16. Why do I want 10? Why do I want 10 when I need 3? Let's do 7. Not 73, 7. Yeah, so I could probably get away with 15, Kato-san, rather than 30, and that's going to be a little bit more bearable. So this is what we're going to do next time. Is work on getting into the Kaido-san as I work my way towards getting the Circuit 3s, of which, you know, I do need the bio batteries, so, you know, bio batteries as well. Of the things that are here, yeah, gonna need to scale up that REO, that rare earth oxide, and the chromite sand, as well as the hydrogen chloride. I will need more of that. And I'll need more helium. Like, all of those things. Just more. Need more of. Need more glass, most likely, and... yeah, there's just lots of stuff. Here's the big boron expense, is why I'm doing so much with boron. Oh yeah, I definitely need lots of rare earth oxides. Oh boy. A lot more than what I'm making now. Already making alien bacteria. So, yeah. Lots of stuff, lots of stuff. With that, I'm going to end things off here after a shortened 2-hour stream. Yeah, path to biobatteries. Yeah. It's all going to be under the umbrella of Circuit 3s, but we're going to start with Kaido-san and work our way through each of the things here. Yeah, it's just going to start with Kaido-san, I think, for the nanofibrils. And I'll work my way up. We'll have... I'm trying to think how much of these things I can do in one stream, because I would really like to have each of these things be separate factories. I may have a stream for bio batteries as the Thursday stream next week, and we'll see how much I can get done towards that. And I make no guarantees as to how much scaling I can do of some of these input ingredients. We may just bite it and just do what we can, build the infrastructure to process this stuff, even though I don't have enough input for it. But the demand will be there, at the very least, for when I increase the supplies. Anyway, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Shibut. If you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushibut if you're so inclined and able. I will be back on Tuesday to do Kaido-san, and I hope to see you all then.